they get you loose.
Good.
Come here!
He's kicking the back of the line.
Come here, little brother! Little brother, hungry bitch! I'm killing you! Hey, you hear me? Hey, you hear me? I'm gonna fucking kill you, bitch! Oh, you little bitch! You scared motherfucker! Come on! The fucking pump. The fucking one, ain't you? The fucking got your fucking nigger.
Hey! 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 Let me call the sheriff's office. Huh?
Don't do like that.
Well, you parked in the middle of the road.
Oh, no.
You are too.
Yeah.
Right in the middle of the road. How much you had drink tonight? More than an hour? Do me a favor, step on out. Get on out.
Bye.
Hey. Go. Get out of the fucking car. Get out of the car.
I will.
Get out of the car now.
I will.
Get out of the car.
I will, man. Get out.
Get out of the car.
Get out.
Get out.
Get out.
Get out.
I am.
Get out of the car.
I am.
Greetings, my name is Ed Haas Turlington of Haas Turlington's Bee and Goat Farm, located 20 miles outside Jay, Oklahoma, and 4 miles from the borders of Oklahoma, Arkansas, and Missouri. In addition to running the farm with my wife and 4 young children, I'm the proprietor of First Families Research and Security. I'm a disabled veteran and retired from the military, a certified Oklahoma private investigator, and a former law enforcement officer. The purpose of this documentary is to expose how a law enforcement officer can make one bad assumption up front and then refuse to accept new information that would refute the original assumption. This refusal to admit any error then leads to the prosecution of an innocent person. In this case, the innocent man is me. The bottom line is, the sheriff wouldn't have found the probable cause he needed to order my arrest had the lead investigator not concealed and altered evidence in his probable cause affidavit. In 2014, I caught a group of men trespassing, burning an illegal fire, and apparently involved a drug activity on my family property. They had taken the license plate off of their truck, and all 3 fled when I pulled over. One of them, a convicted drug dealer with a rap sheet of dangerous and violent convictions spanning over 30 years, Dale Philpott, called me a punk motherfucker and assaulted me with a glass bottle. I shot him once in the leg, downward, away from his vital organs, from about arm's length away in self-defense. Everything that follows shows how one law enforcement officer shaped an investigation for a predetermined outcome, coached witnesses, and withheld exculpatory evidence, leading to a decision from the district attorney to prosecute me. Of course, the district attorney was presented with a manipulated set of facts, so he did not make an informed decision. Together, Delaware and Ottawa counties form Oklahoma's 13th Judicial District. My brother Lance and I grew up in Delaware and Ottawa counties in the extreme northeast corner of Oklahoma and are directly descended from 8 pioneers of those counties, going back to when they were an Indian Territory district. My great-great-grandfather, John Duke Kelly, pioneered Afton in the 1870s after serving in the war as a cavalry officer. His son, William Kelly, owned the Fairland Pool Hall, married Emma Bacher, the daughter of Afton Indian Territory Constable Phineas Bacher. Their son, my grandfather, Robert Kelly, grew up in Fairland and married my grandmother, Merle Maxine Simmons, a Fullerton descendant from Afton. He died in the Philippines in World War II when my mother, Nancy, was 2 weeks old. The Fullertons were Miami Indian Territory pioneers. My cousin, Sam Fullerton Sr., became the first presiding judge of Oklahoma's 13th Judicial District upon statehood. My parents met in the early 60s at NEO A&M in Miami. My father, a fifth-generation Floridian, attended on a football and track scholarship, while my mother attended on a North Star scholarship. After my father's service as an Air Force electronics officer during Vietnam, they returned to Delaware County to raise my brother Lance and me. In the 70s, my brother Lance and I grew up in Delaware County. We lived in Xena when our father was the high school principal at Grove. Our cousin, Earl Kelly, a World War II and Korean War veteran, was the Grove Elementary School principal. Our cousin Kelly Hampton was the high school counselor. In the 80s, my father was the Afton School superintendent in Ottawa County, where my little brother Lance and I attended from elementary to high school. My father served as an infantry officer in Oklahoma's 45th Infantry Brigade during this time. By the 90s, my brother Lance and I had joined the military. I joined the 82nd Airborne Division, and my brother joined the 45th as an infantryman in Nowata. Dean Bridges was his platoon leader. Later, Lance was commissioned into the regular Army. When he was a captain, the Army sent him to law school. He's now a full-blood colonel in the Army JAG Corps. After I was discharged from the regular Army, I joined Oklahoma's 45th Infantry Brigade, and Dean was my platoon sergeant at Delta Company in Tulsa and at Charlie Company in Claremore. I retired from the 45th in 2017. By this time, my father returned to Delaware County. My youngest brother, Reb, went to school at Oaks Indian Mission and Colcord prior to joining the 45th Infantry and serving in Iraq, where he suffered traumatic brain damage. When my father was superintendent at Oaks Indian Mission, he made national headlines for getting the State Department of Education to recognize Cherokee as a foreign language for graduation requirements. When my father was high school principal at Colcord, Kelly Hampton was his superintendent. The first row of the thousands of veterans' names engraved in the Delaware County Veterans Memorial Walk of Honor in front of the county courthouse in Jay lists me, my brothers, my father, my grandfather, and his grandfather, and Dean Bridges, the former 45th Infantry Brigade Combat Team Command Sergeant Major, who grew up with us in Afton and we consider a brother. Note that none of the people involved in my prosecution, the DA, the prosecutor, the sheriff, or the lead investigator who made my arrest possible by concealing and altering exculpatory evidence, none of them are from here. None of them have ever served their country or really respect the integrity of what it means to be a veteran. They have certainly never risked anything for the people of Delaware and Ottawa counties. Note that none of the people involved in my prosecution, the unelected city boy DA, the second generation American born, raised, and college educated in New England prosecutor, the anti-gun sheriff from Denver, or the old draft dodger investigator who made my arrest possible by concealing and altering exculpatory evidence, are from here. For over 200 years, wanted men have crossed the border into what is now Oklahoma from Missouri and Arkansas to avoid the authorities. Prior to statehood, there were no counties, therefore no sheriffs, and very little law enforcement. This has been the subject of both books and movies. True Grit, The Outlaw Josie Wales, and Hang 'em High are a few well-known westerns on this theme.
There you are. The Oklahoman Indian Territory, year of our Lord 1889. 19 marshals. I was authorized 60 when I came here. Told the president even that was not half enough. 19 marshals and 1 court to cover near 70,000 square miles. A happy hunting ground filled with bushwhackers, horse thieves, whiskey peddlers, counterfeiters, hide peelers, marauders that'll kill you for a hat band. Now that's why there's a badge in my desk, Cooper. Itching to sit on somebody's chest, and no takers.
Your marshals do cover a lot of territory.